Hello and welcome to our training video on the process of setting sag. Now, before we're even ready to start the physical task of setting sag, we have to go through some prerequisites. So, of course, our bridge design needs to be completed. We need completed anchors with 3 days minimum cure. Generally, both anchors are completed as adjustable. So that means they're completed with tubing cast into them instead of the cable itself cast into the anchor. This leaves the option to change up which side is the adjustable side later on, or leaves you the option to start your anchors and begin that minimum cure time before the cable may even arrive on site, or you have enough community members to carry and drape the cable. The tower should be complete with 6 days minimum cure time. We'll want completed subgrade ramp walls from the top of foundation to the top of the anchor, and we'll want completed back walls. Now, consult the Design Manual Volume 2 of the Bridge Binder or the Advanced Bridge Design course if you're curious about how to make the associated calculations if you'd like to change any of these timings or change any of these quantities. These are the standard things that will always work with the standard drawings and with most custom drawings. But if you want to, set sag maybe after 4 days of tower curing or 1 day of anchor curing, you'll need to complete the associated construction checks to make sure we don't see an early failure of concrete or we don't see early sliding or uplift during this process. Now, a quick review of sag and F values. They are now labeled in order in which they appear in the construction process. So we have our construction or minimum sag, which is H1, hoisting sag, H2, design sag, H3, which is almost always 4.55%, and then our live load sag. The sag is measured at the midpoint of the cable, whereas the F value is taken at the vertical distance to the low point of the cable. And that's what we'll actually practically be using in the field. So you can convert your sag value to your F value using the equation below. And then as an example labeling scheme, our walkway and handrail cables can be labeled as F1H or F1W for handrail and walkway. They should be 1.1 meters apart. So the tools we'll need for this process are clamps. We need to confirm they're drop forged. You'll need 3 wrench sizes, ideally a small, a medium, and a large for different points in the process. Ideally 2 sets of an auto level and tripod, but a minimum 1 set. Walkie-talkies for communication. A whacking stick to actually set sag. Usually this is a large piece of wood you can find on site, anything that won't damage the cable. A cable winch. We'll need a level aluminum bar, spray paint, and a marker, and then a tape measure.
Some bonus content for our premium subscribers of Keegan tightening the clamps to 360 foot-pounds, which is even very hard with this bar.
All right, so step 1 is going to be to mark our F values and choose the survey point. So we want to choose a point to survey from that's easy to hang out and easy to sight the F values and the cable. Ideally, we can set up both auto levels here 1.1 meters apart. Because to be honest, it's more important that the cables are 1.1 meters apart and level to each other than it is that you're a centimeter or 2 off on your F value. So throughout the day, as cable heats up and cools down, it's going to expand and contract and change. So having 2 sets of auto levels is really nice. So you can always be sighting the cable's distance relative to each other without having to readjust your auto level and introduce air into the system. We'll also want to choose the adequate abutment to mark the F values, which is usually the low side. Finally, we'll calculate the F values like we showed in the previous slides. We'll clearly mark and label these on the abutment, first with spray paint for easy visualization, and then fine-tune with a marker. And here's an example calculation I have. You can pause the video and just read through it to get an idea of how you get your H values and then convert this to F values. And now one last thing is, do we absolutely need to hoist to F1? The answer is no. This is just a minimum value. We definitely don't want to hoist our cables above those F1 values, but we don't absolutely have to hoist to that value. And I'll talk about that in a little bit more later.